Hello and welcome to Kain and Company here on the CBT Automotive Network. I'm David Kain, and today I'm joined by Amy Hughs of String Automotive. And Amy, we're here to talk football playoffs today. And I understand that you're an Alabama fan, and so if you look at the college football playoff standings, it's really becoming the Alabama Invitational, right? Who can come in and knock off Alabama?
We'll take it. Roll Tide. We'll take it. So.
Are you expecting another victory?
Of course.
Excellent.
Of course. Not taking it for granted. You know, Mr. Saban does a good job of keeping his team humble.
Yes.
So.
Well, and I don't know, those who are planning on coming to the March conference for here at CBT, Nick Saban presented live last year, and man, the place was jam-packed. He really did a great job.
He did.
Yeah. So seriously, let's talk about you, Amy. And I always love Bette Midler in the movie Beaches. My wife encouraged me to watch that, and she goes, "Enough about me. Let's talk about you. What do you think about me?"
Exactly.
So
let's talk some more about me and how much you'll love me.
So. You decided that you wanted to be in automotive. A lot of women probably would shun this industry. What drew you to it, and why did you end up going to String?
I really wound up in digital and automotive really, really early on because of my love for technology. So I was actually in Birmingham, Alabama, and had a great opportunity to get started with a company called Advanced Media. And so we were taking the newspapers online for the first time.
Wow.
So I didn't start solely in automotive, but as I began to introduce this concept of the internet with AOL disk in hand, the dealers were the fastest adopters.
Wow.
They just looked back at you and said, "Okay, you do it. That sounds all great, right?" But that fit with my stage of my career, and it fit with my sort of personality type, and I said, okay. So we started bringing all of their inventory online, and that was in '98.
Wow.
And so, of course, we were doing that in an effort to help them understand advertising. So we built their websites, and it was just a real baptism by fire. My advertising director at the time, her husband was in automotive. So I think we sort of started with that vertical first. Wow. And then over the years, I just sort of stayed very close with advertising and automotive specifically, both in television and media buying, advertising research. And so when I was a regional sales manager for Cars.com a few years back, I met Ken Kaloji at a conference, and I don't know, it just seemed his energy and his approach to technology and solving the problems that dealers really had sort of drew me in. We had a mutual colleague in the Northeast, and I just kept, we resold, at Cars.com, we resold a reputation management platform that was white labeled, and String built that platform.
Oh, cool.
So it was an interesting, I was interested in how they made that happen so quickly, being, in technology for a lot of years. I sort of saw the speed to market with which they did that, but a quality product. And at that time, what we now sell at String was really not even fully formulated yet. And so, but I had an opportunity to make a change, and it was a good opportunity for me. I'm desperately a startup girl. And so I came on board, and we built a business intelligence platform for the industry, and it has been such an incredible ride. It's sort of back to those early years in the late 90s where we get to help dealers understand things differently.
Sure.
And that's really what I love. So, and Ken is a great leader and has made good on all his promises. So
good. Well, Ken, she promised she would say good things about you if I had you on the show. So good job. We've covered that. We'll do a check on that. So I would concur. I believe Ken is really kind of the startup entrepreneur. But you all have gotten some years under you now, so you're moving beyond startup and you're moving into a position. And I think if I heard you right, looking at your automotive career, you're a solutions person, regardless of where you work. And you weave it in with automotive media and, of course, your Cars.com time. really it's just helping dealers provide those kind of solutions. And I feel bad for the people who work for companies that don't really solve problems. They're just there for the paycheck, and ultimately, they're spun around at the end of the day and go, well, at the end of the day, at least I got paid.
I have a hard time with that philosophy. I just can't get up and get excited every day if there's not a real problem to solve. And so I agree. I think we have done ourselves a disservice on the vendor side, I hate even calling it that, because we've become vendors.
Sure.
We're not partners anymore. We're not providing a solution to a problem. And that's one of my favorite things to ask dealers. Like, okay, what problem are we solving? Because we know there are many. So let's hone in on really being able to answer with a sort of backed up with data approach rather than just my opinion.
Absolutely.
So that's very exciting every day.
Well, so speaking of a dealer in the industry always is battling some sort of a problem. I mean, everybody enjoyed their Sunday. Some of them worked, some of them were off on Sunday, but they walked into Monday, and regardless of whether they were on Monday or on Sunday or off Sunday, the dealer walked in and had challenges, opportunities, and stuff. What do you all see at String or today's challenges that you're helping dealers work through?
Sure. We get a lot of questions from dealers who are trying to reconcile two different silos of metrics. They have a talented staff who understands digital often, or they have a relationship with a partner in the space who has been talking with them about metrics that should matter to them, but they're still looking at their pump in, pump out report and very, very frustrated.
Yes.
And that's very often where sort of that head scratching and that lack of ability to collaborate over two different data sets, we often get called in to help understand and reconcile why is what I've been doing that everyone tells me is so effective not moving the needle in sales and sales effectiveness and used car sales. And so we find that to be a challenge that we are definitely ready to take on. And that takes shape in so many different sort of combinations of people and vendors and data sets that it really sort of keeps us very intrigued at String. So there's not a challenge we don't really look into deeply and want to take on, but our platform certainly makes that a lot easier because we've preloaded a lot of algorithms that really sort of spit out exactly what the challenges are and more importantly what the strategies are that should solve those challenges. So we really do find some harmony where there was a lot of frustration in the past. General managers who have been given a relationship with someone, perhaps an ad agency or a digital partner, and they don't know whether to blame them or pat them on the back. And it's a lot of fun to come in and really help them collaborate to become better in very important ways, not just in tick up this metric and you'll do great. Let's do it where it actually is going to make us money. So.
Well, and I bet there are times where you are confronted with data and you're playing the role of Switzerland. You're just helping them sort through and study. Your dealer positioning system is one that I really, really love. What do you do when a provider is doing a bad job? You like them. Have you found providers that are good and credible, receptive to, hey, we identified this and maybe it'd be good? Do they tend to be embracing of your all's ideas?
Yes. So, well, both sides, but when we attack any sort of challenge, we prepare the dealer for the fact that we don't know what we're going to find. And we really, don't allow knee-jerk reactions in our analysis. So our analysts are telling the dealer, as much as we are the vendor, hey, you got to own that this approach that you're taking is kind of halfway there. You need to round that out and do a better job with X, Y, and Z, and that might mean you need to dedicate more resources to it rather than just, get mad at whomever didn't do well, right? By any particular metric or standard. So taking a look at the entire picture is extremely important. We have a list of many automotive ad agencies, and then just sort of friendly partnerships with a lot of the major players in this space. Dealer.com uses our platform really well in some very specific scenarios where the general managers really take ownership of making those campaigns better and collaborate with them. And so, we have, I could say that about many, right? Sure. Many. Launch Digital does a great job. Pinnacle, their sister agency is a traditional ad agency that does a great job with it. I think across the board, when Julie Lawton, our partner manager, and I collaborate over, what makes a good fit for a partner, it's really humility.
Sure.
And so, we try to build that trust with them to say we're not here to play gotcha, because we're not trying to displace anyone. And that's real important to explain that up front.
I bet.
So once everyone kind of feels that, then, and after that first, analyst call, we call them monthly market guidance calls, everyone sort of tends to settle down a little bit. But, we all make really bad advertising decisions quite frequently. So it's like, let's don't throw stones. Let's just learn what we can from the data and incrementally make changes towards, a better operational plan to match our advertising plan. And when you can begin to speak both sides, everybody kind of lets their walls down.
Excellent. One other thing I want to point out to the audience who's listening that I really appreciate with String Automotive is they're not trying to grow ahead of their ability to service the clients. And I've oftentimes messaged Amy and said, I need to get you on the call with a client. They need really help right now. And she's like, well, we're really busy right now. She's not saying that, because she doesn't want to talk to me. They want to do a really great job of taking care of their customers. So you might want to check out the dealer positioning system through String Automotive. And Amy, thank you very much for joining me today.
And thank you for always teeing that up for us. We run lean at String. That is certainly something you could definitely accuse us of, but we always want to help out. And you are such a good friend to us. Thank you, David.
Thank you. Well, thanks again for joining us today here on Kain & Company on the CBT Automotive Network. I'll see you next time.